Token D Rock here with another stream. It is Tuesday, February 14th, or Valentine's Day, 10:04 a.m. Central Standard Time. Crypto market cap has peaked just above $1 trillion once again. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 41.6%. ETH dominance sitting at 18.5%. Can see Bitcoin has flung up past $22,000 once again. ETH has recovered to 1543. Binance Coin 297, Cardano just a little bit under 38 cents, Doge 2 cents, Matic at $1.21. Taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average from open earlier today, we did sink about 300 points. Now we're sitting about 100 points up from where we sank to. Could this be spelling trouble for the stock market? Personally, I think with the CPI data coming out later today, I do think that will prove to not be as successful as the Federal Reserve would have hoped. I think CPI will come just short of expectations, if not a little bit higher. So we could see stocks and crypto take a beating as a result, depending on how the market reacts to that news. You can see Bitcoin the past 24 hours, more specifically in the past few hours, went as low as roughly 21.5. We had a bit of a rally, roughly up to 22,300, and has since kind of fizzled out. We're kind of just chilling above 22K. That line of support holds for the bulls. If not, can see some more downside sell pressure. Taking a look at Bitcoin hourly chart, we can see this huge candle right here, roughly 21,570, all the way up to what is this, 22,250. Quite the enormous candle right there. But again, I do think this is just more or less a relief rally after the lows that we put in the past few days. DXY still holding that line of support right around 102.9, 103.1. We'll see if that holds. If this continues to hold for a few more days, I think it's a positive / negative sign, depending on how you look on it. With DXY potentially reversing here. If this goes to the upside considerably, we can see stonks and crypto get smashed as a result. Obviously, if this goes down, we can see the inverse of that. Hopping over to Twitter for some news. IMF continues to beg El Salvador to not increase their Bitcoin exposure. That's a sign that we're winning. Why don't they want El Salvador to expand their Bitcoin exposure? Are they afraid of one domino falling and a few others following suit? Could possibly be. Maybe it's just nothing. Visa to launch Bitcoin and crypto cards over in the United Kingdom and 40 other countries. Curious to see if the United States is on this list, considering the latest deal with the SEC going after crypto staking. South Korea's second biggest city, Busan, wants to be global Bitcoin and crypto hub to attract investment in young people, according to Bloomberg. It's a little known fact that Bitcoin leads to prosperity over in El Salvador. Since they made Bitcoin legal tender, they've essentially paid back their debts and then some. Who knows if El Salvador did or did not trade any of that Bitcoin that they bought. But if they did, they probably are doing quite well. Even if they didn't, the amount of attention and exposure that El Salvador is getting as a result of making Bitcoin legal tender is pretty insurmountable. Good to see countries like that succeeding. Binance Coin, or BNB price, declined as Binance and Paxos stopped offering BUSD stablecoins due to U.S. regulatory concerns. Yeah, I see you too, Mr. Paul. How you doing this morning? A thread in summary: BUSD is issued and redeemed by Paxos, and funds are Seifu. We are informed by Paxos they have been directed to cease minting new BUSD by the New York Department of Financial Services, or NYDFS. Paxos is regulated by NYDFS. Restream. That's the site I use to stream these videos. Paxos is regulated by NYDFS. BUSD is a stablecoin wholly owned and managed by Paxos. As a result, BUSD market cap will only decrease over time. Paxos will continue to service the product and manage redemptions. Paxos also assured us the funds are safe and fully covered by reserves in their banks, with the reserves audited many times by various auditors. Alleged SEC versus Paxos lawsuit. I have no information about it other than public news articles. A lot between the USEC and Paxos. I'm not an expert on U.S. laws, but personally agree with Miles' logic here. Not that it means much. Here's Miles' logic. In doing so, the Supreme Court established 4 criteria to determine whether an investment contract exists. An investment contract is an investment of money in a common with expectation of profit to be derived efforts of others. Number 6, if BUSD is ruled as security by the courts, it will have profound impacts on how the crypto industry will develop or not develop in the jurisdictions where it is ruled. Binance will continue to support BUSD for the foreseeable future. We do foresee users migrating to other stablecoins time, and we will make product adjustments accordingly, e.g. moving away from using BUSD as the main pair for trading, etc. Given the ongoing regulatory uncertainty in certain markets, we will be reviewing other projects in those jurisdictions to ensure our users are insulated from any undue harm. So good to see. It's easy from Binance kind of going into detail regarding Paxos and BUSD and their ongoing suit with the SEC. $831 million have outflown from Binance in the past 24 hours, largest since FTX bankruptcy and December 2022 FUD. So interesting to see more money fleeing Binance. Coinbase says its staking product does not pass the Howey test. Also, the CEO, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase, says the company will defend staking in court if necessary. Coinbase will fight to protect its customers' rights to stake their crypto on their platform. So again, good to see Brian Armstrong and Coinbase pushing back against SEC. Most accurate version of this meme yet. We have the SEC throwing nades and throwing knives at crypto investors with their supposed, saving of retail. What's up, Diggs? How you doing? SEC is single-handedly destroying the ability for Americans to buy crypto. It's only going to get worse. The U.S. is absolutely blowing it. Yeah. We'll see what develops over time. Another train derails in Houston, Texas area. Officials claim there's materials were on board. What the hell is going on? As we discussed the other day, just yesterday, train was derailed over in East Palestine. It was it's said to be carrying a vinyl chloride, which is a very hazardous chemical. And to my knowledge, they leaked it, and there's some damaging effects in the surrounding areas. Reports of wildlife dying and fish. There's this rainbowy substance on top of rivers and streams in that area. So interesting to note that the United States government, and along with mainstream media, is largely not covering any of this story. Transport Secretary has nothing to do with transportation via rail. The propaganda and butt covering with the story is so sheer. Union Pacific train has derailed after hitting a truck in the Houston, Texas area. Some hazardous materials were being carried by the train. Pretty crazy stuff. Again, why is this not receiving the Yeah, hopefully the trout population is doing all right. But I'm as to why the media is not covering this. Like, why aren't we hearing mainstream media cover this whatsoever? Here's just kind of going over the situation over in Ohio. So, vinyl chloride, deadly chemical, has contaminated the Ohio River due to train derailment. Ohio, ugh, the Ohio River serves over 10% of the U.S. population, has reportedly become contaminated due to chemicals from the East Palestine Trail derailment. The river supplies public drinking water to over 5 million people, in addition to industries all the way to West Virginia, affecting over 30 million people who live in the Ohio River Basin. As we can see, the Ohio River goes all the way down to southern Illinois. So this whole thing with the train getting derailed the other day is going to affect millions within the region. And yeah, the media is more focused on UFO sightings and spy balloons. I personally, I think probably a few of those spy balloons are in fact Chinese, but I do think the U.S. is hyping up the situation, so to speak, to instill fear in the populace. But that's just my opinion. Either the government is sabotaging critical infrastructures in the United States, i.e., Palestine and other railroad mishaps this past week, to incite a reaction that leads to more control, or the intellectual capital in this country has declined so much that we don't know how to maintain it anymore. I'm gonna bet on the former and not the latter. Here's a pallet with $1 million stacked on it. Now picture a giant boat with 1,000 of those $1 million pallets on it. Visualize 100 of those giant boats, each with 1,000 pallets, each with $1 million. 100 billion is how much we've spent on the war in Ukraine. In the name of defending their democracy, their sovereignty. Meanwhile, we impede and stampede on other nations' sovereignty, whether it's Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen. The list goes on. It's quite hypocritical what we're doing with the situation over in Ukraine. Not saying some people there, aren't fighting the good fight, and fighting for the right reasons and such. But many people are disguided, and you can kind of see the extent that which these people will go to get people on the front lines. Like, this is pretty disgusting. In the words of Zelensky, we are a democratic state. We cannot set an example like Russia to drive someone to war with sticks. We are not such a state. We are fighting for European values and want to be a member of the EU, so we need to fight with such values. Yeah, well, dragging off your citizens to go fight a war they don't believe in or agree with, that's definitely the solution, Mr. Zelensky. But yeah, that about does it. Just kind of wanted to mainly go over this second train derailment that's happening over in Houston. Are we going to be seeing more of these train derailments? And what are the implications? What are the consequences? What are the damages going to be done to the American people because of hazardous materials like vinyl chloride leaking into the atmosphere, making its way into the food, the water system, all that stuff? What are the implications of all that? Time will tell. Hello, Alice. Thanks for joining the stream last minute, but we're about to wrap things up. Hopefully, you guys found today's stream informative, entertaining, educational, or all the above. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hit notification bell to be notified when we go live next. I'm doing great, Alice. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day. Um, Tomorrow, I will see you guys a little bit early, 9:15, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Till then, take care and invest wisely. Peace out.